This is the plaintiff, Russell Phillips. He says he gave the defendant a deposit on a 2000 BMW. And the guy won't return his money even though he promised to because the taillights don't work. He can't wait to prove he's right to the judge and is suing for the $1,250. He says he's out. This is the defendant, Cecil Robinson. He says the plaintiff drove the car, loved it, and gave him a deposit, and said he'd be right back with the balance. Then he got cold feet, demanded his money back, and he's sorry, but he doesn't give refunds. He's accused of a Beamer bomber.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Phillips, what happened here?
Well, I took the car for a ride. I gave Cecil the $1,250.
Well, let's back up a second.
Okay.
Back up. Start at the beginning.
Yep.
You saw at the defendant's home, who lives down the street from you, that he had a BMW for sale.
5 minutes down the street from where I live. I drove by the car.
All right.
Many times. I saw it. I said, oh, I've always had a truck because I do concrete. I've never had a personal vehicle of any type of car. I've always had a pickup truck. I said, oh, let me check this car out. I went over there. I took it for a ride. And when I was driving it, when I put the directional on, inside the vehicle, it was blinking very rapidly. Blink, 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 blink. And I know from experience that when the blinker reacts like that, it's not working. And Cecil was like, oh, no, they're working. I said, no. When it blinks double fast like that, they're not working. Oh, no, they're working.
Why didn't one of you just walk out? Why didn't you just walk out to see if it was working?
We did.
Exactly,
when we got back to his driveway, I went around the back. I put the left directional on. The rear directionals were not lighting up. I put the right directional on, walked to the back of the vehicle. The right directional wasn't working. The brake lights weren't working. So I said, fix the lights, and then I'll give you the rest of the money. So
okay, wait, what do you mean the rest of the money? Wait. I missed where you gave him the beginning of the money. Like, had you bought the car already at that point? After I test drove the car, I gave him a deposit of $1,250 cash. Was there signed paperwork in this case?
Yeah, we had an agreement. And I have a copy of the agreement. It says May 1st, 2020.
Was that I'm not understanding. You give him a deposit first and test drive it after?
You know what? I can't recall if I did that. I can't recall which happened first.
According to you, Mr. Robeson, what was the order of things?
The order of things was first he left a note on my car. That was the first thing that happened. Then he drove by and he talked to my neighbor. And because he was so interested in my car, he couldn't get in contact with me. He contacted my neighbor. My neighbor called me by phone, told me there's a gentleman sitting outside interested in your car. That's how the whole thing happened. And then he asked that he wanted to test drive it.
Did he test drive it or buy it first? Which did he do first?
He came and he test drove it, and then he gave me the deposit right after he test drove it. And the fact that he's telling me he didn't know about the
And then when did he
blinkers,
sign the document, the bill of sale that I'm looking at? When did he sign that?
after.
Was he going to take the car before finishing paying, Mr. Roberson?
No, it clearly states on that paper right there, he does not receive the vehicle until the full balance is paid.
Right. Okay. So he gives a deposit, and then according to you, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Roberson is supposed to make repairs, correct?
Yeah, he said he would fix the lights. I said, okay, no problem.
And is that correct, Mr. Roberson, that you're supposed to fix the lights?
There wasn't a lighting issue at first. The whole situation was the blinker wasn't working, so we thought it was just a bulb.
I'm not asking you what was actually the problem. I'm asking you what you said. What did you say
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, I'll fix the lights. Okay.
I told him he could fix the lights because I no longer had the car on the road because there's no plate on the car. I had a new car, so I no longer had it on the road. Originally, we thought it was just a blinker issue where I could replace it with a bulb. All right. When I went and tried to do that, that wasn't the issue. So I told him if he purchased the car, whatever he spent on fixing that light, we could go half with. And I would take that off the balance or whatever way he wanted to do it. We could go half. I'll give him money back, whatever it was. And I told him that the mechanic is about 5 minutes down the road from us that could easily fix it. It's a simple wire that's not connected in the back. And it's not all the lights. It was just one single blinker light that wasn't working. The tail light still worked. The brake light still worked.
I have a question, Mr. Phillips, because I'm still confused about the order of things. When that day that you're buying the car, do you say to him, I want you to fix the lights?
I said that to him when we got back to his driveway. And he's lying. He never said.
No, he did say that.
Is that before or after?
Okay.
Is that before or at? No, you hold on. Is that before or after you handed him the money?
No, I was telling Mr. Robinson to hold on because he's speaking when I'm trying to speak.
Did you say I want you to fix the lights before or after you handed him the money?
I think I already handed him the deposit, but I said,
cocaine's
I
a hell
want
of
you
a
to fix
drug.
the lights.
Okay,
and he
you need
never
to stop, Mr. Roberson. Go ahead.
And he, okay, I gave him the deposit and I told him, fix the lights and then I'll be back with the rest of the money. And he said, okay. He never said anything. He's lying. He never said anything about, oh, well,
I have
whatever
your
you
text
have to spend to
messages.
fix. Can I talk, please?
Mr. Roberson, I'm going to tell you for the last time to stop shouting stuff like cocaine is a great drug or disagreement.
Yeah,
This is not a sport. I'm in the middle of taking testimony. All right? You'll have your turn to address whatever he's saying when I turn to you and ask you what your response is. Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
Yeah, I don't recall him ever saying whatever I have to pay to fix the lights, he would take that off the bill. And I take offense to the fact that Mr. Robinson texted me and I have the text paper right in front of me. Okay? Get me my $750 by Saturday or else I'll see you in court. I don't care what you've been advised. You should have thought about that before you gave me a down payment and made me take the sign down. Honestly, you shouldn't have been doing business all coked up. End of story. Have a great day. You know what, Your Honor? My email address is 43093, and there's a specific reason why that's my email. Because those numbers, 43093, represent my clean date. That's April 30th, 1993. I'll never forget that date because that's the day I got clean and sober. And I've been clean and sober since that day. I have over 27 years clean. And I'm a proud member of Narcotics Anonymous. And I take offense to Mr. Robinson telling me I'm conducting business all coked up.
Good for you, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Roberson, what did he tell you about the lights?
I told him specifically when we first started driving, Your Honor. I said the blinker does not work. So slow down, because first thing he was doing, he was going fast because, like I said, he wasn't in his right state of mind. I told him to slow down, and I said, if you're going to use the blinker, if you're going to turn...
If he was all coked up and not in his right
state
state of mind, why are you allowing him to drive your car? Because that sounds a little bit unbelievable.
Buying my car. As long as I had insurance on the car, it's fine with me. If he crashes it, it would have got...
What if he kills you? What if he runs a red light and kills you? That's fine with you too?
We take chances every day, Your Honor. Every day when we step outside this door, we take a chance.
Every day I get into the car and hand the wheel over to somebody who's coked up. What is it that was discussed? Please try to listen to the question I'm asking. What is it that was discussed about the lights and fixing the lights at that time?
It's the third time I've been trying to tell you this. Before we even hopped in the car, I told him
maybe you
the
could try
blinker
being
was
a little
not
clearer if I'm having to ask 3 times.
Before we even stepped in the car, I told him the blinker was not working. If you're gonna turn, you have to put your arm out the window. I am not asking about then. I am asking about when he handed you the $12.50. Mr. Phillips, don't do that. Mr. Roberson,
sorry.
He's handing you the $12.50. That is the time I am trying to figure out. He's handing you the $12.50. What is discussed about the lights at that time?
At that time, like I told you the first time, we thought it was just a blinker situation, and I told him I would replace the bulb, and when he comes to pick up the car will be fine. I thought it was just a simple bulb that had to be replaced. Now, when I tried to replace that bulb, it didn't work. So to my further, checking out the situation, I said, it has to be a loose connection back there, which is not hard. You pay somebody $50 an hour, they'll take the wires apart, put them back together, resolder it. It's about an hour's worth of work.
Okay.
And I told him I would go half with that.
So you told him that you would fix the light, and then because you thought it was a simple fix, that it was just a bulb.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not a mechanic. I could switch a
and
bulb,
then
but I
you
can't do
find
anything
out
else.
that it's not just a bulb. Then you tell him that it's a simple fix. Go get someone else to fix it. I'll go halves with you on the repair. Okay. So at the time, then it sounds like both of you are agreeing on the one crucial fact that matters here, which is that at the time of the agreement, when the $1,250 is being handed over, the word is that you are going to take care of fixing the lights because you thought it was a simple replacing of the bulb. Then it turns out you cannot fix the lights. And you tell him if you're unhappy, because I see it in the text, you say to him, if you are unhappy, I will return your money, right?
In a state of duress, because like I said, at that point, he already harassed me several times when I was trying to work. And then he already threatened me and said, if I don't get the money back, you're going to have a serious problem. And he already came to my house and was creeping around the car. And my neighbor called me again and said, this guy's outside walking around the car. I don't know what he was doing that time either, but I told him, don't come to my house again. And that was the last time. He said, I'm not going to come to your house anymore. And he just said, we'll see each other in court. After a whole bunch of harassment with him texting me several times, threatening me several times. So out of the state of duress, yes, Your Honor, I did say, I'll give you your money back just for him to leave me alone.
Okay. That's not really what legal duress is. And I'm ready to rule. I don't want to hear from either one of you anymore. Normally speaking, a used car sale is an as-is sale, and whatever problems it has, you are stuck with. The difference in this case is that this deposit was given with the promise that the lights would be fixed. So that is a contingency for the sale. The lights were not fixed. It may be, you may think it's not a big deal. He thinks it's a big deal. So since the contingency wasn't met, there is no contract and you have to refund the deposit. $1,250, verdict for the plaintiff.
Mr. Robertson, let me ask you how you feel about this. You got to give it back, all $1,250.
Hey, it's cool with me. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, like I said.
Why do you keep saying that? I mean, the guy is very proud of his being clean and sober for a long time.
Hey, he might have been clean at one point, but he wasn't clean when he came to buy that car. Or when he tried to get his money back, he wasn't clean. I watched him in that car sniffing something. So, I mean, whatever is whatever. He got his money back. We're all happy with it. So everything's good. No hard feelings.
All right. Mr. Phillips, if I were you, I would ignore what he just said. Let me just ask you, do you think you've lost out on a good car?
No. I think the car had an electrical problem. And yeah, you know what? 27 years.
What?
Consistently. Not a minor mood-altering substance. He can say whatever he wants. I've been legitimately clean since 1993. April 30th, 1993. So good luck, Cecil.
No, you don't forget a date like that. Very good.
Nope.
Congratulations to you. No question about it. All right. Well, look, you get your money back. So Congratulations to you there as well. Okay?
I knew I would.
Enough.
So thank you.
Congratulations. Good enough. All right. So long. Well, that wraps it up for this case. Let's see what the judges have to say now.
Normally in an as-is sale, when you're buying a car, a used car, the point of no return is when you're handing over the money, as happened in this case. But you referred to a contingency that had to occur before the buyer was obligated to perform his end of the bargain. Right?
He specifically was handing the money and saying, but you got to fix the lights. And the guy says, yeah, that's actually, will trigger the contract. Until that's done, then if that's not done, then there is no contract and he has to give the money back.
And if there was any doubt about the condition precedent that had to be done before they were both obligated, that text about, hey, oh, by the way, I'll just give you back the $1,250.
Yeah, that's great.
Lends more credibility to it in the judge's mind when they're looking at it and they go, oh, yeah. This really wasn't a done deal until the blinkers.
Well, the defendant kind of admitted it. He said, I thought that it was just a light, so I said yes.
Right. It turned out to be a little bit more or a little more complicated. So no deal.
No deal.
Linda wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, can my employer fire me because he discovered I have diabetes? The answer is no. You cannot fire somebody because of a health condition that is ingrained in the law. And you can take that up with the Department of Labor in your state as well as the Federal Labor Commission. This is something they take very, very seriously.